My name is Ethel Villa from Liberty University. This is my interpersonal communication project. Introduction. Interpersonal communication happens when each participant has to be willing and able to talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. The willingness and ability will happen only when the people involved are 1. Are familiar with the foundations of interpersonal communication. 2. Are willing and able to accurately perceive and listen to themselves and others, and to make themselves and their ideas available to others. Recognize how the basic communication process works in various relationships. And 4. Have some resources to deal with communication difficulties. Those whose interpersonal communications are having special qualities or characteristics which distinguish in from other human communication events focus on the personal aspect of interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication occurs between persons rather than between roles of stereotypes. There is a number of values which are associated with interpersonal communication. To the extent that human communication should strive to actualize the values of openness, spontaneity, authenticity, self-disclosure, empathy, acceptance, worth, trust, acceptance of feelings, and listening. There is a defined connection between listening skills, improved interpersonal communication, professional growth, and career satisfaction. We make little effort to learn and develop listening skills and unknowingly neglect a vital communication function, thereby denying ourselves educational development and increased self-awareness. Self-awareness grows as we discover how we communicate. Listening improves our effectiveness. Listening to others gives us the information needed to make the most of our communication. Listening is taking information from the speaker, other people, or ourselves, while remaining non-judgmental and empathetic, acknowledging the talking in a way that invites the communication to continue. And C. Provided limited by encouraging input to the talker response, carrying the person idea one step forward. Good communication is just as important in business, family, and social life. Listening well matters for co-workers when intimacy is not the goal, but being able to work together effectively is. It helps keep friendships vital and even makes a difference in casual relationships where you merely want is. Overarching goal. The need to listen to others and have better listening skills. Listening is a strong characteristic of my S-type of personality. I tend to be the best of the type, and listening, I notice that sometimes I'm not paying attention. I can be thrown off if not careful. Many times I'm listening in sports level, and I try to move to empathetic listening level. It is a big challenge sometimes because my mind cannot stop thinking about unrelated matters in the moment. When I try to put all my attention to the speaker, empathetic listening helps me pay attention to the speaker total communication. And I realize that my listening has to concentrate in one conversation. I need to work on how can I move from level 3 listening spurs to level 1 empathetic listening. It will help me to increase my effective communication. Empathetic listening requires okay attitude. The overall focus is to listen from the heart, which opens the doorway to understanding, caring, and empathy. One important characteristic of this level 3 is not letting oneself be distracted, paying attention to the speaker total communication. One way to start developing this skill is to process information you are listening to. Processing means associating what is said with something familiar to you, repeating the information internally or out loud, or summarizing that the person has said. Listening is learning skills. The first step is to realize that effective listening is an active, not a passive process. Active listening is a process in which listener receives message, process them, and responds so as to encourage further communication. Active listening is not limited to our message, but includes receipt of nonverbal message as well. Active listening provides verbal and nonverbal feedback to the speaker. Is enlarging the conversation. In the most general sense, the term communication and communicating level to continuous complex collaborative process of verbal and non-verbal good meaning making. There are 6 features of communication that help us to have a definition of enlarging the communication. 1. Meaning. Human live in word of meaning, and communication is the process of collaboratively making these meanings. 2. Choice. All communication involves choice. Choices. 3. Culture. Culture and communication are intertwined. Culture features always affect communication. 4. Identities. Some of the most important means people collaboratively construct identities, all communicating involving negotiating identities or self. 5. Conversation. The most influential communication events are conversations. And 6. Nesting. The most important single communication skill is nesting. The most useful question you can ask yourself is, what I help that happen next? Enlarging communication could be defined as a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. I believe that God's words is more powerful than any other type of communication. All scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the man of God may be truly equipped for every good work. 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17. Enlarging the conversation continued. The enlarging of conversation is the way that we communicate with others. The quality of communication helps us to enlarge our conversation. Communication is the key to build our relationship with people through meaning, choices, culture, identities, conversation, and nesting. Enlarging the conversation is a group of characteristics that helps us to build the process and change our future and communication and keep us healthy. Enlarging the communication directs us to engage ourselves to get out of our comfort zone and make change in our thinking, behavior, and feeling in order to improve our interpersonal communication. These changes could be making friends from another culture, learning another language, learning about other cultures, being open, having faith, having willingness, being humble, and being empathetic. Enlarging the conversation is to approach some topics that we are afraid of speaking about and straining or weak communication. Background influences. Born and raised in Lima, Peru, I grew up with my parents, my brother, and my sister. I am the youngest of 2 siblings. I am Hispanic. I am female, educated, middle social class, conservative family, traditional family. My father was in the Peruvian army and my mother was a housewife. My father makes the important decision in the household. Background influences. Positive influences. Family values, family moral, family support, family environment, independence, flexibility, easy adaptation, family protection, discipline. Negative influences. Introverted, shyness, overprotection, critical, mistrusting, judgmental, and fearful. Behavioral blend. Behavioral blends are defined by 4 personality types. Once people identify their specific D, I, S, and C personality types, they can focus on their individual needs to adapt to the many predictable patterns of behavior. Personality types explain how we think, feel, and act as an individual. Behavioral blends create a unique personality for every person. Behavioral blends help us to identify our personality profile. Personality can be defined as an individual's unique, reliability, consistent pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Behavioral blends help to discover a unique personality for every person. My personality type is determined by 2 perspectives. The first perspective, this is expected of me, and the second perspective, this is me. The uniquely U assessment identify my behavioral blend to be S on graph 1 and CIS for graph 2. Description of behavioral blend. This is expected of me as loyal, shy, friendly, patient, loving, kind, good listener, easygoing, helping others. This is me, CSI, passive, outgoing, and reserved, life on the party over quiet spectator. I prefer peace and harmony. I prefer organized environments. I need to be more decisive and direct. I better resolve conflict. Behavioral blend positively influences enthusiasm, cordiality, outgoing, reserved, active, passive, strong personal skills. on an individual basis, good and caring, thinking and problem solving, and enjoy open conversations. I am very positive. Negative influences. I think too much or long about solving a problem, lack of assertiveness and aggressiveness. Struggle with moodiness and pessimism, lack of being commanding and demanding, and sometimes become negative and critical, and sometimes turn people off with my opinions. Potential barriers. Physical barriers, fatigue, disclosing myself with others, negative statements, finding my sense of entitlement to speak out, insecure and fear to speak out, emotional, dealing with potential barriers. In the physical barrier of fatigue, I will be important to listen at level 2 to make sure I'm not missing information I will need. If what I'm being said pertains, I could then move to level 1. Be more willing to share myself with others. Change negative statements to a positive by replacing the negative language with positive reinforcement. Perpetuate self-respect and success. Identify that and this is at the very heart of the matter. Be confident, assertiveness, noise pollution. Factors that influence us to be distracted from empathetic listening. Internal noise. Listening and hearing what you want to. Do not want to listen. Negative attitude, anxious, tired, and angry. Solutions. Do not allow childhood experience influencing the way how I listen. Patient, be positive, be empathetic. Noise pollutions. External noise, environment noises, outside activities and entertainment activities, radio, television, cellular, video games, etc. The speaker talks fast, doing many things at the same time. Solutions: find a calm place, go to a place with less distraction and interruptions. Ask the speaker to talk more slowly to understand and to have clarity of the situation. Suspend everything and focus on what is important at the moment, focusing one thing at a time. A plan of action. Be empathetic, listen with my heart, listen to others and respect them, avoid interrupting, build strong and healthy communication with others, pay attention to others when they talk, improve my assertiveness, improve my listening skills, improve my skill of communication, work better in times of resistance and time of conflict, be a better person. Conclusion. This class is very special and important to me. This class helped me to understand better my weakness in communication. This class took me to the deepest issues about me, about my skills of communication, and taught me how to become a better listener. Before I did not understand why listening is so important. Now I know that without listening skills, it's too difficult to have healthy communication. Listening is a learning skill and it is a long process that requires discipline and practice. This class impacted my life routines tremendously. I have been learning from the beginning of this class how to accomplish this goal. Everything is possible through God. He's my anchor. He's guided me in my decisions to change and become a better person. Jesus replied, what is impossible with men is possible with God. Luke 18:27. Thank you.